Oh, hold on one second. I forgot to change my thing. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to this episode of Think Business Live. I'm excited to be sitting down with the Lash sisters, Cara and Jordyn Lash. Their company is Lash Out, which is a clothing company. Cara, Jordyn, you know I've had your brother on the show a couple times, so I'm a big fan of your entire family, your mom, your dad, your brother. So I love that you guys are, I don't want to say following the footsteps of, everybody in your family, of all entrepreneurs, but in a way that you are, or maybe they followed you. I'm not really sure of the exact order. But regardless, I'm excited to talk to you guys about your clothing line that you created called Lash Out. And so let's just kind of dive in and talk a little bit about, I'm always fascinated when people start a business, especially in a crowded area, because you really have to spend a lot of time figuring out how to differentiate yourself and all of the components that come under that. So talk a little bit about how the idea came about and how you decided and how you figured out how to differentiate yourself a bit.
So our idea of Lash Out started during quarantine. Me and Jordyn were cleaning out our closets, and we were finding a lot of old bar and bat mitzvah clothes. And we had a ton of sweatshirts that we were about to get rid of and that we weren't planning on wearing again. So me and Jordyn, I walked into Jordyn's room, and she was redesigning one of the sweatshirts into like a smiley face on top of the logo, so no one really could see what the sweatshirt had been, so that she'd wear it again. So one night, me and Jordyn just spent all night redoing all these sweatshirts into cooler ones, and we started wearing them around the neighborhood, and everyone started commenting on our sweatshirts and asking, like, how are you doing this? Where are these from? And actually one night, Jordyn,
I was hanging out with your son, Jacob, and he asked like how much he could pay to buy one. And
right.
I texted Cara right away, and she was like, yep, we're starting this business. And then the next day we made our Instagram, and it was a big hit.
Yeah.
I love it.
Definitely differentiate ourselves by making them custom, because I know that a lot of people are starting these businesses and it's kind of like each other's, but we allow other people to kind of design them themselves a little bit, and then we take the lead in.
Yeah, I love that. So wait, so let's talk about a couple things. So thanks for the shout out of Jacob. I always love hearing stuff about my kids. But what I want to talk to you about is listening to the whispers and to the signs. I'm a big believer. I coach companies all over the country, and I'm a big believer that a lot of times people miss the small cues. They miss the. A lot of people would have heard that from somebody and just let it go. And so what was it that in this case, Jacob said that really sparked that you knew, hey, we can actually make money off of this, build a business, do it together and have fun?
You heard Jacob.
Yeah, I think it was definitely like we had been hearing so much from other people, and hearing from him, we just, like, he was the last one.
Hold on, I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to move my dog for a second.
We were finally just like, wow, this could really be something big. But
you kind of have to listen to people's interests too. Like, if you know that people think something's really cool, you kind of get that little voice in your head that's like, they're wondering how you're making it. They don't really know how to do it, and they want one. So that's kind of what cued us into start making them for other people.
Yeah, I love it. But what's interesting is, and I think a lot of people have found this out during quarantine, because most people have been running 150 miles an hour, and when we were all on lockdown, it kind of gave us a moment to just kind of pause and think. And I think people started to realize, wait, there's all of these things I'm good at. There's all of these things that I love. And I can actually turn my passion and my love for something into a money-making business, which I think is great. And so I want to just go back a minute, because I think there's some good wisdom. Can you guys hear me? Because you're frozen a little bit. All right. Hold on one second. Jordyn, Cara. All right. So we're talking with Cara and Jordyn Lash. They are, I think, having some technical difficulties. So hopefully if you guys can hear me, just kind of opt out and then. Okay, they're gone. Okay. All right. Well, we'll wait for them to kind of come back in and jump in. I think their internet went down. But a couple of highlights as we're talking and waiting for Jordyn and Cara to come back that I think are really worth talking about and highlighting as we wait for them are, finding the time. One of the things I find is as I'm working with clients is they don't really take enough executive time to really just take some silent time, some brainstorming time to really kind of just plan and think about new ideas and brainstorm new ideas. And we're in a market right now where new ideas and innovation and everything that companies need to do to get current is really, really important. So, hey guys, welcome back.
Sorry about that.
Little technical difficulties. It's all right. That's what happens sometimes. But one of the things I was talking about while you guys were gone is it's so important for executives and entrepreneurs of all ages to really find silent time to brainstorm and to think about new business ideas, to get current, to be innovative. And a lot of people don't do that. And that's something that I think post quarantine and post like real lockdown, I'm hoping that people infuse more into their day of really taking time to brainstorm and strategize and really plan with a blank piece of paper. So do you find yourselves doing that, and what guidance would you give on that element of just business, taking executive time to really think, plan, and strategize?
Yeah, so I am actually in the business school at Michigan State. So I guess business has always been in like the back of my mind, thinking of a new idea or something that I can kind of get on and start up my own business. I've personally always had a little page where I've been writing down different business ideas. Like if you write down a few every week, eventually you'll probably have something good. It doesn't always come like that, but I feel like if you come up with an idea and then you kind of think about the next steps, and if there's already something like that, but you can kind of turn it into something different, you can usually make something that's unique and other people want.
Yeah. Well, what you bring up is really important. I'm a big fan of an idea journal because the best ideas come from the previous ideas. And I'm also a fan of consistency and execution. And so if you had a journal that you wrote if you just committed for 30 days to write an idea a day, then they'll evolve. And then what ultimately comes about, what I find, not only for myself, but people that I work with, comes an entirely different idea, but it couldn't have happened unless you go through the process. Question on business school. One of my, I love the movie Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. It's an old movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but did you ever see it?
No.
It's a funny movie. It's a comedy. You may enjoy it, but he goes back to college in he's in his 60s, and he's taking an economics class. And basically he tells the economics teacher hey, I've been in business. You know nothing about business, because they were just teaching business. So, yeah. But what have you learned in business school, and what do you think they should be teaching in business school that they're not?
So I'm in the business school. I'm also a minor in entrepreneurship and innovation.
Great.
And I've found that a lot of the classes for my minor teach more about how to actually start a business and what you kind of need to do for the steps and a business plan and a proposal, rather than the actual my finance classes or my other math or econ classes that I've been taking in the business school for just the broad schedule that I have to get those classes over with. But I think that all around, I've taken a lot of good marketing classes, which tell us how to use.
All right. The lashes have lashed out again. Hey guys, I don't know if you can hear me, but it must be your interconnection must be kind of going in and out. So maybe chime back in. But while we're waiting for them, I just want to kind of highlight a couple of things that were just talked about. I love that colleges now offer the idea that you can actually major in entrepreneurship because of what they're teaching and expanding the awareness and the mindset of getting people to think differently and outside the box, I think is key. You know, they're teaching innovation, which I think is something that, hey guys, you know what, I was just, while you were gone, I was talking about, I love the idea that that colleges are teaching entrepreneurship because raising the level of awareness, mindset, frequency, vibration of things like innovation and what that means, especially in today's world and moving forward through the next decade, is so important to shape the minds of tomorrow that are going to be changing the world. You know, so I want let's get back to kind of Lash Out. So now you are, you know, so you're getting feedback that this could be a business. You start the business. So let's talk about that, right? So you're taking some marketing classes, you're, you know, looking at things. So take us through a little bit of the path now, once you started making the sweatshirts. So you started making them, and how did you market them and sell them and all that type of stuff?
Yeah, so we started selling them on the Instagram. We allowed people to customize their own. So they got to choose their color of their sweatshirts and their string. And we actually realized that that was not a really great system. So we started limiting their options. And that was a lot easier for us on our end. And we also partnered with a wholesaler who was able to get us bulk sweatshirts. So we would order our sweatshirts after we sold out of our, like, the amount of orders we were taking. So
yeah, we also started a Google link where they could, it was like the survey on Google, and we sent it out, and they were able to pick the color of their sweatshirt, the size, fill in all of their information so that it wasn't back and forth on Instagram DM. It was, they got the link, they got to fill it out, and then it connected straight to our Excel sheet. So we just had a list of everyone's information, what the sizes we needed, and all the information without really having to text over 20 people at a time.
And that kept really organized throughout the whole process.
Yeah, well, not only organized, but, you know, I think one of the biggest things that people waste is time. And they, you know, because they're not using the technology at their fingertips that they can use. And so just real quickly from a tech standpoint, because you're 17 and 20, people who are listening to this some are younger, most are probably older. And so just talk about the technology in a little bit and where to go, not in too much detail, but like, what is Google Link, you know, and how do you use it? You know, Instagram, you know, why is it important to market and sell, you know, and grow your company from an awareness standpoint? So just talk to that a little from a technology standpoint.
So Instagram was our main platform to get it out there. We got over 400 followers in the first 24 hours. So it really depends on the kinds of posts that you're posting out. You know, you want to make sure that you're actually having valuable posts that people want to see and not just anything. You know, you got to have a good caption, that's a description, and each post we really take the time to get organized.
And I think it's really important, you want them to be scrolling and then stop and see your post and be, like, attracted right away.
Yeah.
And the Excel and then the Google links, those are, all of our information is online so that we have it at our fingertips in case anything is lost. It's really easy to just set up a quick survey or even just organize it on Excel. Even if you don't really know how to work Excel, it's still kind of easy just to type in the information and have it up there so that it's there forever.
Right. But if somebody wanted to use Google Links the way you're using it, how do they even get to it?
So you just go on to Google Link, or like there's a bunch of different kinds. You can either have like a PowerPoint or an Excel. It's all on there. You just look it up, and then it's really easy. You can just click, and it will take you to a page to set up your own survey, and you just type in the kinds of questions that you want. And then once you finish your survey that you made, you just press done, and you can send the link out to other people, and it will keep all your responses there.
I love it. Google Links. God love Google. Wait, so now you have these sweatshirts. How many sweatshirts do you sell of each kind of, you know, you do a drop, right? I mean, you do a drop. Then how many sweatshirts are in a drop?
We usually take about 20 to 25 orders. All of our sweatshirts take about 3 hours to make. So it's, we don't want to overwhelm ourselves with the amounts of orders.
Mm-hmm. I love scarcity, right? So, you know, there's more value when everybody doesn't have it. There's, you know, something that I think is exclusive I think that's solid. Was that part of your marketing strategy, or is it just so you don't have, because it just takes so long to do it?
So at the beginning, we didn't plan on it being like that. We kind of just thought we'd open it up and people would casually just write in when they wanted one. But within the 24 hours, we had sold 25, and we just said to ourselves, like, we have to cap it at a certain number or else we're going to get really overwhelmed. So that's kind of what we've been doing at each round.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the way to do it. I mean, I see my kids, whether, you know, there's certain places that they go to on Instagram where they'll like Mad Happy, or, you know, they do these drops, and like in minutes they sell out. And I think that I love that. I love that. I think it's great. It's a lot of fun. And so, all right, so Lash Out, right? You sell sweatshirts, right? Custom sweatshirts. I know I bought my kids each one. They love them. And then we got Joanna got a face mask. What other products do you guys have?
So we're now releasing sweatpants coming soon.
Yeah, we're definitely thinking of more for the future, and we're changing our designs and styles and just really trying to think of new things. Sweatshirts.
I mean, sweatpants. All right, that's good. Everybody loves a good pair of sweatpants. So let's talk about the two of you now as entrepreneurs, right? So is this the first company you've started, or the second, or what? Tell me.
Actually, it's not. When we were really young,
I think it was like, I must have been in 3rd grade or 4th, and Jordyn
and I would have been in first or
right.
But duct tape was a big trend at the time.
Oh, yeah, my niece did those. Yeah.
So we had a company called CJ Styles, for Cara, Jordyn, CJ Styles, and we sold duct tape, aprons, and purses and ties. It was everything. So it lasted very long, but we definitely made a few dollars.
That's great. Well, you know, I think your parents need to maybe kind of do an online course on how to raise entrepreneurs. Probably more effective than maybe some of your professors. No offense to your professors. But so let's talk about you as entrepreneurs. I mean, as young entrepreneurs, you're still dealing with, you know, happy customers, disgruntled customers, people, you know. So what have you learned about business and I'm a fan of school. I graduated college, but I think there's certain things that you cannot read in a book, you cannot learn in a class, you cannot learn from a professor. You can conceptually learn it, but until you are in it, you can't really learn it. So what have you learned about business? This, you know, now that this is your second business but what are you learning about business that you, you know, weren't expecting?
Well, I think at first we weren't totally valuing our time. So we had to change our prices so that we really were getting enough for our time. And even though that may not have been super exciting for the customers, it was definitely what we needed to do.
Yeah, I think we also learned from our experience that customization is really a lot harder than we thought. You know, we've given these customers the option of any color in the rainbow for string and 5 color sweatshirts and anything that they really want. And it's kind of hard to all accommodate every single person's needs. So we kind of have learned a lot about the challenge of customization.
Limiting customization, like customization, structure limits it, right? Yeah.
For sure. We also have kind of learned that delivery is really hard because we have obviously want to make all of our customers happy, and some of our customers can't even drive to us, you know, to pick up, or we have shipped out a bunch of sweatshirts as well, but sometimes we could drive out to a different part of Michigan to go and get these sweatshirts, and we kind of learned that our time is also money while we're driving out 2 hours, 1 hour there, 1 hour back, or less than that even. It's still a lot of work to do that. We're kind of trying to figure that out as well.
Right. You know, and there's, I think those are those are great lessons, because as you realize, right, like I just spent $150 of my time driving, which means I actually lost money on the sweatshirt. Right. So, it's, one of the things, like, if I have to drive a long distance for a client, I actually charge them for that. You adjust your pricing based on all of that, and that's okay, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, it's good. So those are good lessons. And so, talk to me about mentorship. I mean, and I remember talking to your brother a little bit about this, and I'm a big fan, I said, of your whole family, your mom, your dad. But, talk to me about the mentors along the way, because I think in any business, no matter what age you are, you have to have mentors along the way to kind of help you. So what were some of the mentors? What was some of the advice they gave you?
Yeah, so like you said, we have a pretty entrepreneurial family. Our mom owns her own practice for physical therapy, and our younger brother Drew has been running Drew Co., his business, for a really long time now. So both of those people have really inspired us to get this one going.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that, like, working for yourself is really great. So we've definitely been seeing how they've been doing it. And yeah, even our younger brother has definitely been a mentor for us, kind of just telling us to get out there and do what we got to do. So shout out Drew Co. and Pelvic Lab Rehab. Great.
Yeah, Drew makes the best brownies in the world. Yeah, no, that's one of his services. So let's talk about working for yourself. So we are as we're recording this, it is, what's the date? I'm losing track of days, but the 31st of July, right, 2020. We're in COVID, and I'm seeing a lot of people leave their companies and for multiple reasons, and really starting their own business, because I could point to a lot of reasons, but one as a foundation, which is people are realizing they want to work for themselves if they can, and they want just the freedom that's attached to it.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to, advice that you could give people on how to kind of get on that page, right? Some people are forced into it right now, right? They've gotten laid off and they have no choice. And sometimes that's like, that can be a blessing in disguise when you are laid off, and then you have no choice but to just tap into your inner strength and figure out what you want to do, so you don't have to worry about that stuff anymore, about getting laid off. But to young entrepreneurs, what advice would you give people who are in a space where they really want to start their own business, they just don't know how?
So I'd find something that you're really passionate about. I don't think that it's really possible to start your own business unless you want to do it, because it's definitely a lot of work and can be really scary. So you got to find something you're really interested in to just go for it.
Also, I think it's almost second nature for our generation, but social media has really helped us to get our name out. So definitely like utilize that as a platform, and just take the risk. Scary, but
it's fun.
It works.
Right. Take a risk. I agree. Everything's a risk, right? I mean, everything's a risk. And so let's talk about social media for a minute. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about social media for a minute. Talk to people, because your generation, you were raised on all of these platforms. They're very easy to you, not very easy to everybody. So talk a little bit about the different platforms and how you plan to utilize them to grow your business.
So different platforms are obviously for different things. I think that we have started a Facebook. We're in the middle of starting a website. We have an Instagram. I think that Instagram's a little bit more for your everyday post of, just spreading the word and posting kind of just like pretty pictures, it's more visually pleasing. Facebook is usually where people find your hours, your how to order, a little bit more broader, I'd say, or like this podcast I'd put there, and just more information. And then our website, obviously, hopefully we'll get that up and running for people that actually order off of the website. So.
All right, good. And so if somebody had to pick one piece of social media, what would it be? Well, where should people start?
So we started with Instagram because that was where our like friends were and people we knew in our age group. But the way we want to grow is to reach a wider range of audiences. So we'll hopefully be able to do that through a website and Facebook.
Yeah, I actually just took a class on all types of different social media, and
Yeah.
each media has a different audience that it's mostly focusing on. So our audience for these sweatshirts is mostly teens that range from like 13 to 20, maybe even a little bit older than that, and they usually use Instagram the most. So that's where we started.
All right, good. I have one idea that just popped into my head. You're right. Since winter's coming, you should maybe hats.
Yeah,
right? Like winter hats. Yeah. That's my 2 cents. All right. So last couple questions. If somebody wanted to get a Lash Out sweatshirt, where do they go?
They should go to Instagram, lash_out with 3 S's. And they should just keep an eye out on our Instagram. We release when we're taking our next orders. Our next orders are actually happening tomorrow. So we've been
So it's a drop tomorrow.
Yes, we've been preparing.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And just keep an eye out on our Instagram and we'll post about it there.
That's exciting. All right. So you guys ready for the speed round?
Yes.
All right. Best piece of wisdom you've ever received for business?
Best piece of just do it. I think that's the best piece of wisdom.
Yeah, I think big is a great one.
If you guys were to teach a class right now on business and you were the instructors, what would the class be called?
I think take the risk.
Lash Out, featuring social media techniques.
That's good. I think those. Everybody needs social media techniques. Nobody knows how to. A lot of people don't really understand how to use them, and I think it's critical. Best piece of advice your parents gave you about starting a business?
When life gives you lemons, make lemonade, but we're going to turn it into the business aspect that sometimes it's not all fun and sometimes it can be hard and you might deal with problems, but you got to make the best out of it.
Yeah, well said.
I think, like at the beginning of COVID, they told us to think of an idea and just go with it. So definitely just think of something and do it how you want.
Yeah, I love it. I interviewed a ton of young entrepreneurs a couple weeks ago. I did like 18 in 1 week. I would have had you guys on, but I didn't even know Lash Out was like a thing at that point. I wasn't in the know. But I'm so glad I'm in the know now, and I'm proud of both of you. And I think it's great what you're doing. I know it's a lot of hard work. I know we didn't talk about this, but just talk about it real quickly. You personally spend, you talked about it takes 3 hours. You guys personally do the sweatshirts yourselves, I think, right? So talk a little bit about that for a second. I mean, the discipline of that is a lot.
Yeah, so it takes a lot of time, but we love it. We're able to be creative and we embroider all of the hoods and
the smileys.
We have the painted version and the embroidered, so it's all, we just get to be creative, and it's really good.
And how is it being a business as sisters?
It's fun. Great. We get to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Hang out while we're doing it.
Yeah. I had a business with my brother when I was 23, I graduated college. We were in business together for many years, and it was the greatest. It was the greatest. Yeah.
And we definitely have learned each other's strengths, and we've been able to I can use her for business and I help her for creative side.
Yeah.
It's fun.
My last question for both of you is, what's one thing you've learned about yourself during this business growth in quarantine?
I've definitely learned that business is my strong suit and I should be doing my major is definitely where I should be, and that teamwork is really necessary for a business. It helps a lot that Jordyn's here and that we can work together.
Yeah, and I think the communication is very important between us and our customers, and our customers see like our passion, and that's really important to be passionate about what you want, what you're doing.
I would agree with both of you. I think you're both wise beyond your years. You know, I look at businesses and businesses that have effective communication, accountability to do what they say they're going to do, have gratitude for their business partners and their clients, and also empathy. Those are the businesses that hum along and do really, really well, and are always connected not only to the core of their business, but the core of their clients. So I wish you guys continued great success. I mean, you only live 4 houses down, so I mean, I see you guys, but continued success in everything that you guys do. Congratulations on your success with Lash Out, and I appreciate you guys taking time to be on the show. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. So,
Having us.
Yeah.
great drop tomorrow. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Talk to you.